Shalom. This is an interview with Marvell Ginsburg, the author of the Tattooed Torah, a best-selling book on the Holocaust for young children. Would you please tell us about your credentials when you wrote the book?
At the time, I was the director of the Early Childhood Department of the Board of Jewish Education of Metropolitan Chicago. In my work, I undertook to understand how one could take very difficult concepts and bring them to the level of young children.
Who's the publisher of the book?
Union for Reform Judaism.
Would you tell us why you wrote it?
I felt that the Shoah, the Holocaust, was an incredible turning point for our people, and that somehow I had to find a way to bring this significant event into the lives of children without terrifying them.
Who's the intended audience?
Ages 4.5 and up.
And how did you come to write the story? Where'd you hear it?
At the time, I was a consultant to the Salman Schechter Day School. The principal at that time, Harry Kessler, Alav Shalom, invited me to come to the school. He thought I'd like to know that one of the parents was going to donate, had made arrangements for this little Torah to be donated to the school, or sent on loan to the school, as was done. So I said, of course I want to be there. On the day I arrived, Art Weil, Alav Shalom, was there to present the Torah. He told us the story of how the Nazis had invaded Czechoslovakia, rounded up all the Torahs, including the mantles and all the religious items, took them to Prague, and stored them in a warehouse, because their plan was to make a museum of the extinct Jewish people after the war. This little Torah was among the Torahs that they took. Why did he want to do it? One day his son, who was in the first grade at that time, came home and said, "Daddy, the Torahs are too big and heavy for me. I can't lift them." That's when he decided he wanted to find a small Torah, and the results of his ideas and what he did are in the book, in the story.
So what was the odyssey of all these Torahs? What happened to them once the Nazis collected them?
They piled them in dark trucks and took them off to Prague.
How'd they get from Prague to England?
They had stored these Torahs in a synagogue, which they turned into a warehouse, the Michle Synagogue. A man from the Westminster congregation in London happened to be in Prague. He went into an art store. The dealer in the store, talking to him, said, "You know, by the way, there's a warehouse over here that has all kinds of Torahs in it. Maybe you'd like to see it." "Oh, yes, of course." So he took him over to this warehouse. And when he saw these Torahs on these rough wooden shelves, he just got terribly upset. He went back to London, told the rabbi of his shul about it. Someone in the shul was an art dealer himself, and he got so excited, he went over to Prague, saw the Torahs, and he volunteered to pay all the expenses of transporting those Torahs to London.
Was any work done on them to make them in better shape once they got to London?
Oh, yes, they'd been on those rough shelves for 20 years, unrolled, and a Torah has to be unrolled regularly in order to keep the papyrus pliable. So they said, "Oh, we have to find a sofer to check all these Torahs to see if they can be used and be made kosher." As they're sitting there thinking about what to do, there was a knock on the door. At the door was a young man. He said, "I'm a new sofer and I'm looking for work. Can you use my services?" It was like a miracle. They said, "Oh, come in, come in." So he checked over the Torahs, and they found which Torahs could be made kosher, and he had a lifetime job working on those Torahs.
Now, I know you've done a video also reading the story of the Tattooed Torah. If people want to buy the book, where can they buy it?
In any of the major chain stores. Your local bookstores can order it for you, or Amazon, or any of those places will get it for you.
And what have been some of the reactions, both from children and adults, to the book?
Oh, the children were incredible. I went to kindergarten through third grades. Here are some of the children's reactions after they heard the story. When I finished reading in one of the kindergartens, about a dozen children came running up to me, tugging at my sleeves and my jacket, and, come on, hurry up. I said, where are we going? We're going to the office. I said, why? I said, oh, we have to make copies of the story. We have to take it home so our parents can read it to us. Hurry up. So we went in the office and we made copies. Other children said to me, one little first grade boy said, what was the matter with those Nazis? We're people like anybody else, just that we're Jews. A third grade child said to me, those Nazis violated our Torah. Another kindergarten child said, teacher, hurry up. Give us crayons, give us paper, hurry up. And the teacher said, what do you want to do? And said, we have to draw pictures of that story. We have to draw the pictures of that tattooed Torah.
Well, thank you, Marvell Ginsburg, for writing this book and sharing it with the world. And I hope people will listen to the video about it and read the book and share it with their families.